Everyone remembers the monsters. Few stop to ask what they demanded of us. The Odyssey is not a catalogue of dangers, it is a map of failure. Each trial Odysseus faces is not random. Each one presses on a different weakness. Each one asks what it costs to remain human. The Cyclops is the first true test. He has one eye, one way of seeing the world. Power without empathy, strength without law. A mind that sees only itself. The Cyclops shows what happens when force no longer needs reason, when power stops asking questions. Odysseus survives him not by force, but by intelligence and restraint. And yet even here, pride almost destroys him. Because surviving temptation is not the same as mastering yourself. Then come the Sirens. They do not attack, they do not threaten, they promise. Their song offers knowledge without effort, understanding without responsibility, truth without consequence. The Sirens are not pleasure, they are temptation disguised as meaning. Odysseus listens, but bound. The cruelty is precise. Some truths do not leave the listener intact. Some knowledge can be heard, but never followed. Circe offers comfort, a place to stop, a place where struggle ends. She does not kill men, she transforms them into creatures who forget what they were trying to become. With Circe, nothing hurts, and nothing moves forward. They stay for a year. Some forget why they came. Odysseus leaves, not because she is evil, but because one more year would make leaving impossible. Scylla and Charybdis offer no solution at all. Choose the whirlpool, lose the ship. Choose the cliffs, lose 6 men. Only loss. Here the lesson is simplest and hardest. Some choices cost you either way. Wisdom is not avoiding pain, it is choosing which pain preserves you. All of these are external trials. Fail them and you never return. But passing them does not make Odysseus complete. It only brings him home. And this is where the Odyssey becomes uncomfortable, because Ithaca is not empty, it is occupied. In Homer's world, names are rarely neutral. They are built from the language itself. They carry weight before the character ever speaks. By men whose names are not incidental. In Greek, they are not decoration, they are diagnosis. Antinous, anti and nous, against mind, against reason. A voice that does not argue, it dismisses. Not concerned with what is right, only with what it wants. Eurymachus, Eury and Machos, wide in battle, broad in position. He fights from every angle at once, always positioned where advantage lies. Convincing, uncommitted. The man who stands for everything, and therefore nothing. Amphinomus, Amphi and Nomos. Around law, between law. He knows better. Odysseus, disguised as a beggar, warns him personally. Leave now while you can. This will end in blood. Amphinomus hears. Amphinomus understands. Amphinomus stays. Because knowing the right thing does not save you if you lack the will to act. These 3 lead, but they do not stand alone. The house is full of others, each name another fracture. Agelaus, leader of the herd. He does not lead men, he herds them. Ctesippus, wealth without virtue. He throws food at beggars, not to feed them, to humiliate them. Demoptolemus, the people's war. He does not fight for the people, he fights in their name. There is a difference. Leocritus, people's judge. He has never been elected, he has never been asked, he judges anyway. They do not invade the house, they consume it. They eat without building, they desire without limit, they rule without legitimacy. These men are not monsters. They are what grows when the rightful self is absent too long. And there is someone else living in this house, watching, learning. Telemachus grows up among them. He listens to their laughter. He watches them take what is not theirs and call it custom. He learns how power sounds when no one challenges it. He learns how waiting can turn into silence. He is not weak. He is unfinished. And if this remains, habit begins to sound like tradition, appetite like custom. Not through teaching, but through repetition. He will inherit their language. This is the final battle. Not against the world, but against what settles inside while the world is being survived. Odysseus does not return as a king. He returns as a beggar. He watches, he measures, he waits. Because the final question is not, can I endure? It is, can I judge? The suitors are not killed out of rage. They are removed because they cannot coexist with return. You cannot reclaim a life while leaving its corruption intact. You cannot complete a journey if you refuse to confront what it turned into habit. But even this is not the end, because Penelope does not recognize him. She has waited 20 years. She has held the house. She has resisted the suitors. And now a man stands before her, covered in blood, claiming to be her husband. She tests him. She tells the maids to move the bed. Odysseus erupts. You cannot move that bed. I built it myself, around a living olive tree. The tree is the bedpost. The bed cannot be moved unless you cut the tree. Only the real Odysseus would know this. This is the final test, not of strength, not of cunning, of identity. Can you prove you are still the person who left? This is not revenge. It is internal order restored. The Odyssey is often mistaken for a story about adventure. It is not. It is a story about integration, about facing temptation outside and disorder within, about understanding that some parts of you must be tied down, some resisted, and some eliminated. Homer does not promise happiness. He offers something harsher: wholeness. Because Ithaca is not a destination. It is the state in which a human being can return without being ruled by what the journey awakened. And that is why the hardest enemy is never the monster you meet on the road. It is the one waiting quietly at home, the one you let in, the one you fed while you were surviving, the one that learned to speak in your voice. And one day, it sounds normal.